What's going on, move makers? If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Moriah and you're tuning in Making Moves with Moriah. I did get a notification yesterday, so I'm going on a 3-day trip, and right now I'm about to go ahead and get ready to go. I just made me a bagel, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat that while I'm at the airport, and I'm pretty much all set to go. I have 4 legs, technically 3, because I'm getting deadheaded from Atlanta to LaGuardia. Then I'm working the flights from LaGuardia to Providence back to LaGuardia, and then going to Des Moines for my layover tonight. Overall, this trip seems pretty nice and smooth, but we're gonna see how it goes. I'm glad to be working on the 900 this time, because especially with the 200 last week, it was just a lot going on. And if you haven't watched that video about when I was on my smallest aircraft and I made a really big mistake, go ahead and watch it here, because it's definitely a video to watch. But all right, you guys, I will see y'all when I make it to the airport. What's going on, move makers? Today is day 2 of my 3-day trip. Yesterday was so amazing. Like, my flying partner and my crew was just really good. I was working the forward, so I was doing first class, and honestly we really didn't have that many passengers. I think like the most that we had was like 40, but other than that, everything was good. Like, first class went really smooth. The only issue I had was this one passenger sitting in first class. She just had an attitude immediately as she got on board. Now, I do understand why she was frustrated, because when we were in LaGuardia, we didn't have a jet bridge. We had the stairs. So all the passengers, the crew, we all had to walk up the stairs, and it was raining, okay? And yes, so it was a lot. Like, who wants to go in the rain, climb up these steep stairs with their luggage? Like, you know, I get it. But I didn't decide to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the jet bridge. I don't know why they're doing that. But anyway, she walks up and I'm like, hey, like, how are you doing? Welcome aboard. She snatches the Perel wipe out of my hand, and I was like, ooh, I had to snatch my attitude back, because I was like, baby girl, that is so rude. Like, don't snatch from me. Like, that's just so rude. You can just politely take it. If you don't want to say nothing, fine. I'm used to people not saying hi, hello, none of that. So that is fine with me. But to snatch out of my hand, like, girl, don't do that. So anyway, guys, that was about it, but it was really cool. I really appreciate my captain. My captain was so amazing yesterday, because he allowed us to go in the flight deck for a few minutes, and we were able to see like the crescent moon. We were able to see like different constellations. Is that how you say it? Constellations, I think that's it. And it was just so cool, because I've never been in the flight deck like when we're actually flying, so this is my first time doing that, and I was like, wow, like, amazing. But anyway, you guys, I only have 2 legs today, which is really good. I am just leaving from Des Moines back to Atlanta to Lexington, and you guys, my heart was beating so fast when I was like, I'm going back to Lexington. No. And if you know what I'm talking about this video right here, when I stayed at Lexington and I stayed in this haunted hotel, and I don't know, maybe it's not haunted, but it definitely has some weird energy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go back to this hotel. Like, are you serious? But then I found out that we actually don't stay there anymore. We have a contract with a different hotel, so I am so excited about that. I'm like, okay, I can go to Lexington now. So I am really excited to see this new hotel. I can't wait to show you guys. But for right now, I will see y'all once I get to the airport, because I don't even know what time my van is. So I'm just gonna go downstairs early. Good morning, move makers. Yesterday was a whole mess. I have to tell you about this. It's hilarious. But right now, I'm about to go ahead and get some breakfast. So let's go and get some breakfast. All right, you guys, I really did a lot with this breakfast, but they had so many good options. I had to just grab a little bit of everything. So I had like this apple fritter thing. What is it? Like apple thing. And then I got some pancakes, some potatoes, biscuit with gravy, had to, a vegetable omelet, and of course some fruit and some orange juice. All right, you guys, so I'm just gonna eat and talk with you because yesterday was just so crazy. But first, let me start from the let me start from the beginning. So I was going downstairs and everything with my flying partner. I didn't know what my van time was. Child, I didn't even know what city I was going to because I said I'm going to Atlanta and I meant I was going to Detroit. Anyway, you already know how I feel about Detroit. So we get to our van, everything's fine. We get to the airport. We find out our aircraft is delayed for like an hour. So we're like, are you serious? Because technically we could have still stayed at the hotel, but it's fine. We're already at the airport. So we were just waiting around, not doing too much. We're talking with our other pilots because we had new pilots or whatever. So we're just talking to them. And then finally our aircraft comes. We get on. Now, we were supposed to be flying on the CRJ 900. We ended up flying on the CRJ 700. Because I worked the forward on the first day, I was working the aft or the back yesterday. So everything was still going good. Passengers came on. Again, we didn't have that many passengers, so it was fine. And I moved this one gentleman from the back. He was like very last row. I moved him to the exit row because he was really tall and like there's like no leg space in the back. So I was like, yeah, I moved him up. But then I kind of had this passenger like, hey, yeah, like, you know, I have a connection flight. You think I'll make it? And I was like, yeah, like you have plenty of time. So I was just like, don't worry about it. But I was like, you know, if there's anything you need, let me know. Y'all, I'm so into my food right now. I don't know how people do mukbangs because I just be wanting to eat. But anyway, it was just weird that I had just weird energy from him because I could tell he was like looking at my badge and like looking at my my wings so he can see my name and stuff. And he was like, oh, Moriah. And I was like, yep, that's it. And he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, what? So everything else goes well. We do our demo. We're about to sit down and get ready to go. So right before we were about to push back and start taxiing on the runway, he's like, hey Moriah, can I come sit by you? No. And two, like we're about to push back, so really you can't get up. But I was just like, no, you can't do that. You know, we're about to start moving. And he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, what? Oh, that's weird. So then, I get up. Once we're in the air and everything, I get up and I start doing service and stuff. And everybody was so nice. Like I had no issues with nobody. And this man, I get to his row. I was like, Lord, I'm just trying to prepare myself because I'm just like, please don't say nothing crazy. So I get to his row and I was like, hi, like, you know, what would you like to drink tonight? And he was just like, oh, like, I don't know, ginger ale or something like that. And I was just like, okay. And he just asked me questions like, oh, is this your last flight for tonight? In which that's technically not weird because I do get that question a lot from passengers because, you know, they're just genuinely curious. But coming from him, it's probably weird. So I was just like, no, we got another flight after this. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's just, you know, asking if I like my job, whatever. So gave him his drink, his snack, and it was just weird. Like the whole time when I was serving his row, I was done with him. Then I was serving, you know, the next row, and he was just like, just staring. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? So yeah, it was just weird. Like he just kept staring, and like every time I would like, you know, either give him his snack or something, I'd be like, okay, well, thank you. Like, have a nice day, basically. He'd be like, oh no, thank you. I'm like, oh. Cringe, stop. But other than that, you guys, that was pretty much it. I just ended up in Detroit and of course went from Detroit into Lexington. And like I said, I think I already told you guys I'm not staying in that creepy hotel anymore. I'm in a very nice hotel. They got amazing breakfast, not free, but I'll pay for this breakfast. Like they made my omelet on the spot and like I haven't had that done ever. But y'all, leave me a comment down below. How do you deal with like creepy people? Like, especially when you're trying to be professional at the same time. It's just like, ugh. But I know like what I try to do, at least on the aircraft, I try to stay up towards the front and like in the galley, so I don't have to like see nobody or like talk to people as much. But yeah, just let me know what y'all do, because I need some tips. But all right, you guys, I'm about to go ahead and finish my food because I'm gonna be smacking, and ooh, this food tastes so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I gotta record another video. But I will see you guys later on, because I'm gonna of course get dressed and get ready for the day. And of course, as you know, today is go home day. What's going on, move makers? I forgot to tell y'all when I was eating and telling you everything about yesterday. The other thing that had happened yesterday, we were still delayed after that aircraft had came in an hour later, but it wasn't that bad. So we were heading towards the gate, me and my flying partner, and I was like, wow, like they already started boarding. And usually we board 30 minutes before the flight leaves, but it was like 25 minutes. So technically I feel like they could have waited just a little bit longer, but I don't know. So me and my flight partner get on the aircraft, and we're met with 2 other flight attendants on board. So they just told us everything was good, and we're like, okay. So basically we switched out with them, and I'm putting up my suitcase and everything like that, and we're continuing the boarding process, and I get a call from crew scheduling, and I'm like, why are they calling me? That's so weird. So I picked up, and I was just like, hey, like, everything okay? And they're like, yeah, we're just trying to make sure that you and your flying partner are on board. And I'm just like, yes, like we scanned in and everything. So I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, like your captain basically didn't know that you were on board. And I'm just like, what? I'm like so confused. So I was just like, yeah, like we're on board, like we scanned in, we're good to go. So she was like, okay, like no problem. So hung up with them. I called my captain. I said, hey, like this is Moriah. And he was like, oh, okay, like I didn't know you guys basically switched already. And I was like, yeah, like we've been here for a few minutes now. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was just like, oh, okay, like this just never happened to me before. So then me and my flying partner were talking about it, and we're just like, he would have just turned around and saw that, 2 different people boarded, like, he would have known it was us. But I'm glad nothing happened, because, that could get you in trouble. Like, if crew scheduling calls and says like, hey, like where you at, that's a problem. So I'm just glad everything worked out, but it was just super weird. But all right, you guys, today is day 3, which is go home day. I'm so excited to go home. I should be back around 2 o'clock. Hopefully. Oh my gosh, I really hope so, because I just don't want any delays. I don't want crew scheduling to give me a turn or anything like that, but hopefully they shouldn't. But other than that, I only have 1 leg today, so I'm going from Lexington to Atlanta, and that is it. So I will hopefully see you guys once I get back to Atlanta. I can't even explain to you how mad I was. I'm gonna keep you guys updated, because I'm not in Atlanta anymore. I'm in Gulfport, Mississippi. Good evening, move makers. As you can tell, I have made it back home. I was just so upset at first, because I'm thinking I'm going home, and as soon as I connect to the Wi-Fi on our aircraft, I get a notification that I have 2 more legs and I have a 2-hour sit in Atlanta. And I'm just like, what is going on? I thought I was going home at 2 o'clock. I didn't get home until like 7. And I'm just like, why is this all happening? So naturally, I was frustrated, because I thought I was going home. But that's just how it goes being on reserve, especially on your go home days. If they can get a little bit more flying time out of you, they would do their best to do that. So it's just how it goes. But I made it through, and I made it home. That is the goal. And I am so glad I am officially done. Then you guys, I was back on the 200, and I was just like, are you serious? Like, out of all aircrafts to throw me back on, you throw me back on the 200. But it's all good, because nothing happened this time. and it was just really smooth. But anyway, you guys, if you have made it this far in this video, that means you have made it to the end. So thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and comment below. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and check out my social media. And of course, when you make a move, make sure it's for you. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.